We are streaming live.
Are we recording?
Yeah. Okay. And we're recording. And I just got to find our music. I don't know why that wasn't up. Here it is. 3, 2, 1.
Warning, what you're about to listen to may not be politically correct.
William Jones, Adam Holmes. You're listening to the Jones and Holmes Show.
Sunday night, August 26, 2018. You are listening to the Jones and Holmes Show.
Woo! It's been a while.
It has been a while. I had my parents here for 2 weeks working on building my aviary. Went to Disney, went to Savannah, all sorts of places. What?
Busy man.
Yeah. What episode number is this?
Ooh, we're behind, like 29 maybe?
29. We're on episode number 29.
I think so.
Hey,
Don't
our
quote me
last...
on that.
That's interesting. Our last show has 4 times as many plays as the others.
Really?
We were popular.
Get me a Coke, baby.
Give me a Coke, please. Maybe that's why. Let's see. Does my mic sound okay? I thought I was a little poppy.
Sound fine here.
Should be all right. This week, so we went to a few places. I'm trying to think of where else we went. Oh, I got my boat out for a little while.
Did you actually get it out on the water?
Yep. Got it out on the water. Spent some time out there. Did a little bit of fishing. Not on the boat. Because the boat was... If I shut the boat off, or if I throttled down, it would die. So I'm still working on that. So we got to get that taken care of. Stuck float in the carburetor.
Yeah, you gotta clean that thing out.
Yep. Then we went down to Hollywood Studios. I'm just inside the range where I can make a day trip. But man,
to Disney. What are you, about tough. 3 hours from Disney?
Yep, 3 hours from leaving my driveway to pulling in the parking lot. But the drive back, I couldn't do it. So we were on the road by like 6:45 in the morning. We left the park closed. By the time we got in the car and was pulling out at Disney, it was like 11:15.
Ugh. So like 1:30 getting home.
Later. It was.
Was it?
Yeah, because if it was 11:30 or 11:15, man, I don't even know what time it was. What time was it? 11:15, 1:15, 2:15, 3:15. Somewhere around 3 in the morning. So, fortunately, my dad being a night owl, he could just drive. So I switched places with him.
Yeah, I can't do that late night business.
It gets so hypnotic on the road. It's like you're in a trance.
I don't know. I think it's just because like working normal work hours, and then eventually it just catches up with you to where you just can't stay up late. Because I remember when we were younger, we could stay up all night. Yep. Easily, all the time.
We'd stay up for like 36 hours straight.
Yeah, watching Iron Chef.
Yeah. Playing
the
paintball
original.
In the morning. Play Manhunt at 2 in the morning. Then get up as soon as there was light outside, we'd be up playing paintball.
Yeah, out in the woods. Man.
But we went down. Crazy. Hollywood Studios is pretty interesting. They built this Toy Story land, and now they're building this Star Wars land. Like 14 acres in size. It's pretty big. But it was...
Now, you told me something. They're building a full-size Millennium Falcon?
I think so.
That'd be really cool.
I heard that, and I thought... And also a full-size AT-AT.
Wow.
I've heard people talk about that, but I got to see it. You could see all the construction. If you're in Toy Story Land and you go on the Slinky Dog's roller coaster on one of the top you get up to the top of the peak and you look over and can see the whole thing being constructed. So it was pretty wild. And they're actually building a gondola system to go from the park to resorts.
Huh.
Kind of like how the monorail would go from the Grand Floridian Hotel to the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
So they're going to build a gondola from the new resort they're building to Hollywood Studios, just because they expect there to be that much, that many more people going.
That is pretty wild. Now, what's the price of a ticket?
The price of a ticket, I think, is $115. But it was crazy. But I'm trying to figure out, and then food prices are like, I mean, I remember going years ago and you'd get like a hamburger and fries and a drink and it would cost close to $10.
Yeah.
And just being like, this is outrageous. Now, that's kind of like the normal price of like a Five Guys burger, fries, and a drink.
Yeah.
Or something similar. But now they bumped the prices up within the last couple of years. I know when we went in 2014, the prices were still a little bit, seemed kind of competitive with the outside world. And now they're up there.
It's crazy.
I got a little.
Do they let you take food in?
Yeah, you can take food in. That's kind of an interesting thing a lot of people don't realize, but you can bring your own food and picnic if you want. Bring anything you want.
It's been years since I've been to Disney.
It's the dumbest part was they have transportation from the parking lot to the entrance, and those tram cars. They picked us up in the parking lot, and we're waiting for the car. It picks us up. It drives us about 100 yards and then drops us off. Because all the construction with the gondolas, they have half the parking lot, like, blocked off building gondolas so they can't drive the transportation up to the gate. So then it's about maybe a 10-minute walk at, a brisk pace, 10-minute walk to get from where they drop you off to the gate. It's like, what a waste.
Wow. Yeah, that's kind of stupid.
But that park is completely different now, Hollywood Studios. Remember that they had streets that looked like New York? And it led to the stunt car racing area.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. That was a long time ago. I've been there, but yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, that's gone. And the New York street, most of that's gone. And it's really, they changed the layout a lot, but it was fun. We brought my nephew and he really enjoyed it.
Oh, your mic's starting to sound kind of cruddy.
Uh-oh. I think I'm okay. I think it was a Skype for a second.
Oh, okay.
But my nephew enjoyed it. He had fun and got to meet. They had somebody dressed up like Kylo Ren. We got all these pictures with him. And my nephew didn't know who he was. So then we watched The Force Awakens that I got to show him. That was pretty cool. So what has been going on this week?
Man, this week, the last couple weeks.
Yeah, we got 2 weeks behind us now. Let's go over here. Paul Manafort was convicted. Let's get this rundown from the Wall Street Journal.
Following Paul Manafort's whirlwind trial in Virginia, the verdict is in. A jury found Manafort, President Trump's former campaign manager, guilty on 8 of 18 counts. The judge declared a mistrial on the other 10 counts. Manafort was found guilty of 5 counts of tax fraud, 1 count of failing to declare a foreign bank account, and 2 counts of bank fraud. Prosecutors have not definitively said if they'll seek another trial. Here were some of the biggest moments in the courtroom. First, the prosecution laid out its case that Manafort committed a number of crimes. They argued that he hid millions of dollars in offshore bank accounts, evaded taxes in the US, and when his money dried up, they say he lied to banks to get more cash. Rick Gates, Manafort's former business partner, was the government's star witness. He pleaded guilty earlier this year and agreed to cooperate with investigators. At the trial, Gates testified that he committed crimes at Manafort's request, including hiding Manafort's income overseas and falsifying documents. But the prosecution's case mostly hinged on a long paper trail. You may have heard about Manafort's expensive shopping sprees and multi-million-dollar homes as the trial unfolded, like that $18,000 Python jacket and his ritzy Hamptons house. The prosecution presented evidence, like this email, showing Manafort funded his lavish lifestyle by wiring money to vendors from overseas accounts the government says he hid to avoid taxes. And they showed evidence that Manafort wasn't truthful with banks. There was an email from Manafort to Gates asking him to convert a PDF file into a Word document. Gates did so, and prosecutors say Manafort doctored the documents to inflate his income, which resulted in him getting more money in loans. Prosecutors also showed that Manafort got a bank executive a position on Trump's Economic Advisory Council right as that bank was extending him $16 million in loans. After more than 20 witnesses called by the prosecution, the defense didn't call any and wrapped things up quickly. Throughout the trial, Manafort's lawyers spent much of their time pinning the blame on Gates and attacking his credibility. For example, they forced him to admit to having an affair and to embezzling money from Manafort. They also argued that the evidence in the case was insufficient to convict Manafort. But remember, Manafort is set to face another trial in Washington, D.C. in September. His attorneys could have consolidated everything into one trial, but they opted not to. In September, he'll face charges of conspiring to defraud the United States, obstructing justice, and failing to register as a foreign agent while he was working for pro-Russian Ukrainians.
Pro-Russian Ukrainians.
Huh.
So they're really going after Manafort.
They sure are.
You know, it's funny, and they're going on basically because of tax evasion, right?
Yeah.
What about Al Sharpton?
Yeah.
Which he had.
Yeah, this is kind of interesting.
It is. Did you hear the Al Sharpton Aretha Franklin clip?
RESPICT.
That's. I gotta pull this.
People went, what?
Here we go.
He's barking like a dog.
Choked, he choked like a dog. Choked like a dog. Choked like a dog.
We've seen you employ people, expect unwavering loyalty, teach them tricks and give them treats for a job well done, like, 6 figures worth of hush money to silence an alleged affair, for example. But the moment they deviate from their good behavior and fail to fetch, you publicly condemn them on Twitter with animalistic slurs. Steve Bannon was, quote, dumped like a dog. You tweeted after he was fired. Sally Yates, you said she choked like a dog during her Senate testimony on the Russia investigation. And now Omarosa. That doesn't include all those outside your orbit you've hit with a canine cut down. Like when you referred to black NFL players as sons of, well, female dogs. But I think you might have learned a lesson this week. Sometimes the dog bites back with a book deal. And while we're talking about female canines, you know what they say about payback? It's a real, well, I'm sure you know the word I'm thinking of. So in the words of my late friend Aretha Franklin, show some RESPICT. And the next time you get a black woman and a beagle confused, remember this. I got you.
I got you. What does that mean? I got you.
I don't know.
So, yeah. I mean, there's somebody that owes some taxes. Let's see what this. Will Trump be impacted by the Manafort Cohen verdict? So then Cohen started talking. What is the? I'm trying to see what the story is. Let's see, Michael Cohen. Okay, here you go. This one's the. This is a story from the New York Times about why Michael Cohen turned on the president. I hope this one talks. So many of these you start playing and it's just words. But I've been out of the loop for 2 weeks, so I'm coming into the loop.
Trying to catch up.
Michael Cohen, President Trump's former personal lawyer, went from this I'll do anything to protect Mr. Trump.
They say Mr. Trump's pit bull.
I've stood by him shoulder to shoulder.
To this.
Shockwaves after President Trump's former attorney Michael
Cohen pleading guilty and implicating the president.
Possibly the worst day in Donald Trump's presidency thus far.
So why did one of Trump's most trusted advisors flip? Cohen was known for being Trump's fixer and biggest defender.
If there's an issue that relates to Mr. Trump that is of concern to him, it's of course concern to me. And I will use my legal skills within which to protect Mr. Trump to the best of my ability.
In April, the FBI raided Cohen's office after he became a target in special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation. Trump was quick to come to Cohen's defense. Most people will flip if the government lets them out of trouble, even if it means lying or making up stories. Sorry, I don't see Michael doing that, despite the horrible witch hunt and the dishonest media. But once the investigation zeroed in on Cohen, the lawyer began to change his tune.
My wife, my daughter, and my son have my first loyalty and always will. I put family and country first.
In July, Cohen released audio from a conversation with Donald Trump that he secretly recorded 2 months before the 2016 election. The two appeared to be discussing payments to a former Playboy model who said she had an affair with Trump.
When it comes time for the financing, which will be...
Listen, what financing?
We'll have to pay you. So
I'll pay the cash.
No. I got... No.
Here's when things between Trump and Cohen began to publicly fall apart. In a tweet, he said, "What kind of a lawyer would tape a client? So sad."
I expected something like this from Cohen. He's been lying all week. I mean, he's been lying for years. There's nobody that I know that knows him that hasn't warned me that if he's back is up against the wall, he'll lie like crazy because he's lied all his life.
On August 21st, Cohen pleaded guilty to violating federal campaign finance laws and said President Trump directed him to make payments to 2 women during the 2016 campaign to avoid a potential sex scandal. Cohen's lawyer suggested he knew more.
Mr. Cohen has knowledge on certain subjects that should be of interest to the special counsel and is more than happy to tell the special counsel all that he knows.
Trump tried to play down the momentous admission via Twitter. If anyone's looking for a good lawyer, I would strongly suggest that you don't retain the services of Michael Cohen.
Yeah, it's interesting. So Cohen just flipped on him.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how it's just out of the blue.
Pled guilty to violating federal finance campaign laws because they're trying to build some sort of a crazy case so they can try to impeach Trump and give him a deal. Or that's what he thinks is happening. I don't know. But you can't, like, I've heard a couple people talk about you can't impeach a president over something that happened prior to his presidency.
Yeah, they keep going on and on about, that they're going to go on and they're looking for stuff to indict Trump over. It's like, what are you going to indict Trump over? I don't know. It's just silly.
Right. What are you going to do? Let's see. Here's this one's Fox Business. This is Kennedy talking about it, but about Trump being impacted by Manafort or Cohen verdicts. Although Cohen, there hasn't been a verdict. There hasn't been a trial. He just said he's guilty. See if we get to see.
Yesterday was the worst day of the president's life ever. This, according to one Obama lackey who is convinced the Manafort conviction and Cohen plea.
What's happening?
Enough blood in the water for Sharky Democrats.
I don't know.
That they can...
Whoa. All right. Let's continue this. For some reason, it froze everything up. Come on.
Technical difficulties.
That's right. Let's bring this, see if we can get this to reload. We've been having a lot of technical difficulties. That's what happens when we get out of the flow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why this one won't load. Come on and load. Let's do this. We'll close this tab. Open a new tab. put it in here. I bet it'll work. Here we go.
Yesterday was the worst day of the president's life ever. This according to one Obama lackey who is convinced the Manafort conviction and Cohen plea create enough blood in the water for sharky Democrats that they can finally put an end to his dying presidency. And then, in this fantasy that doesn't even require Russian collusion or Putin string pulling, Hillary is instated as the rightful 45th president of the United States. Well, isn't that a fancy yarn that's nowhere near knit? The reality is, of all the unforced foibles and reportedly mortal wounds the president has taken or self-inflicted, Cohen's guilt may be more potent than Charlottesville and Helsinki, but doesn't quite have the punch of the finality of the Access Hollywood tapes, and what they promised but never delivered, that death blow. The president's digital incontinence often causes unnecessary damage, and Lord knows he can pick some real stinkers like Manafort, Omarosa, and Jefferson Beauregard Sessions. But within the pathological flagellation, there's also an indescribable resilience. This will never be replicated by another politician as long as we live, and the president's flaws are as apparent as his wealth and are baked into the casserole Americans are willing to snack on as long as the economy is good. Even Nancy Pelosi is hesitant to use the I word, as she knows impeachment both rallies swamp-hating independents and Trump voters, and could sink her chances of ascending once again to another worn-out speakership. She also knows a Pence presidency is the opposite of what the most strident, foamy-mouthed resistors actually want, as the former congressman is far more conservative than any president of the modern era. And President Pence would make Ronald Reagan and Richard Nixon look like Democratic socialists by comparison. It's fun to see the left in a lather while Trump loyalists try and rationalize away potentially serious developments, knowing if Democrats impeach Trump and get what they wish for, a Pence presidency would actually be their worst nightmare. And that's the memo.
It is funny. They don't seem to think about that.
No.
They have Pence.
You know, the one thing, though, that I've been thinking about over all this is that, do you really think that Trump cares about Manafort or Cohen?
I don't know. I don't know if he cares.
I really don't think he does.
I think there's a chance that he would pardon Manafort. He's talked about pardoning Manafort, didn't he?
He might have.
I think he kind of mentioned it. Let's see. Here's will Trump pardon Manafort? Here you go.
Is the president now planning on or intent on pardoning Paul Manafort?
The Manafort case doesn't have anything to do with the president, doesn't have anything to do with his campaign, it doesn't have anything to do with the White House.
Margaret. Sarah. I actually was going to ask about Manafort, but let me ask in a slightly different way. Even if it has nothing to do with the president, he still could have the power to pardon Mr. Manafort. Is that something that he's begun discussing with the team? Has he ruled it out? Does it come up? And
I'm not aware of any conversations regarding that at all.
Thanks. The question that I also
other than actually when he was asked by a news outlet earlier this week, and he said that he hadn't been thinking about that at all.
So there's that.
Huh.
But he could pardon. I don't think he'd pardon Cohen because Cohen turned on him.
Yeah.
And he made a statement about that too. About let's see if I can find where he said it. I don't know if it was it a tweet? Yeah, like here you go. There it is. Trump's tweet. I feel very badly for Paul Manafort and his wonderful family. Justice took a 12-year-old tax case, among other things, applied tremendous pressure on him, and unlike Michael Cohen, he refused to make up stories in order to get a deal. Such respect for a brave man.
Huh.
So that's an interesting one. Unlike Cohen, he refused to break. So that's how Trump kind of...
Yes. I don't know. I don't think he'll pardon him. I think he'll stay out of it, honestly.
He might. That might be the best thing for him to do. But that's an interesting... that was an interesting...
He's got other things to do. He's got America to be made great again.
He does. He does. Well, we had... Yesterday, John McCain passed away.
He's gone
at the age of 81. And the thing that I really dislike, McCain's kind of been a stumbling block. He's a rhino. He's one of those old school Republicans that kind of get in the way. He'd vote with the Democrats with different things or stand with them with different things. It's always the unsure vote.
Yeah, plays the politics game
He
instead of
is a
doing what he should be
politician.
doing.
Yep, a super politician. And he's been a senator for like, man, how long has he been a senator?
Since after Vietnam.
Right. Let's see how long was McCain a senator? Let's see.
You know, the one thing that I was talking to my mom and my dad about this the other day was that, you know, it's kind of weird, like 81 years old. Okay, so at 81, why would you still want to be involved in that? Wouldn't you just want to go out and enjoy like your grandchildren and just live out your years as, you know, and enjoy that time? But if you look at all these people in government, these old the rhinos, you know, that have been in there forever, people like him, Mitch McConnell, these people that have just been in government all these years, and it's like they're still there. They're obsessed with the power.
Yeah, he was in office for 31 years.
Yeah, forget that, man.
So the thing that's sad is, with some of these people, it's like it seems like the only way, there's no term limits, and the only way for these people to get out of office is when they eventually die.
Yeah. How old's Ginsburg?
Oh, man.
She's still falling asleep on the court.
Yeah. How old is Ginsburg? Ginsburg. 85? Yeah, 85. So McCain passed away. Here's a clip on this. This is CBS News. Oh, we don't want to make it full screen. It might mess us up here.
McCain, senator, presidential candidate, and Vietnam War hero, has died after a 13-month battle with brain cancer. The Republican from Arizona was 81. His family announced yesterday he was discontinuing medical treatment. CBS News chief congressional correspondent Nancy Cortez looks back at the life of John McCain.
I've been an imperfect servant of my country for many years, but I've been her servant first, last, and always.
John Sidney McCain III was a military hero who became a maverick politician. He joined the family business, becoming a Navy pilot. In 1967, on a bombing run over Hanoi, he was shot down and badly injured, then bayoneted after splashing down in a lake.
When they found out that my father was an admiral, they took me to a hospital.
While holding him as a prisoner of war, the North Vietnamese tried to exploit his family connections. They offered him an early release, but he refused to violate the military code of first in, first out. He was finally freed after 5.5 years of beatings and torture.
I do not recommend the treatment, but I know that I'm a better person for it.
In 1982, he was elected to the U.S. House from Arizona, and 4 years later to the Senate. He earned a reputation for straight talk.
If the special interests continue to play a greater and greater role in the formulation of legislation, then we will see a breakdown of democracy as we know it. And I'm not exaggerating.
In 2008, he clinched the Republican nomination, choosing another maverick as a running mate.
Governor Sarah Palin of the great state of Alaska.
Palin energized conservatives, but in the midst of a financial crisis, the country was ready for a change. Democrat Barack Obama beat McCain with a 2-to-1 electoral landslide. He returned to the Senate, became chair of the Armed Services Committee, drew fire from Donald Trump.
He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay? I hate to tell you.
And returned it.
But in many respects, this administration is in disarray.
But in the summer of 2017, the normally sharp McCain grew fatigued and had a few verbal stumbles.
In the case of Mr. Comey, the President Comey, excuse me, case of President Trump.
Tests revealed glioblastoma, an aggressive form of brain cancer.
This disease has never had a more worthy opponent.
Still, the former fighter pilot returned to the Senate to cast a decisive vote against a slapdash effort to repeal parts of Obamacare. And after 3.5 decades in Congress, he left his colleagues with an entreaty to work together.
We're getting nothing done, my friends. We're getting nothing done. And the times when I was involved, even in a modest way, with working on a bipartisan response to a national problem or threat, are the proudest moments of my career and by far the most satisfying.
A message only a maverick could deliver. Nancy Cordes, CBS News, Washington.
To repeat, Senator John McCain of Arizona has died after a 13-month battle with brain cancer. He was 81. There will be more about Senator McCain on your local news, on this CBS station, and on our 24-hour streaming news.
So he voted against the decisive, or the bill that he had the decisive vote against the bill that would have helped to kill Obamacare.
Yeah.
And then he says, we're getting nothing done.
Yeah. This just goes to show, I mean, look how much the Democratic media is like going on and singing his praises.
Right.
But think back to when he was running against Obama, how much negative stuff they had to say about him.
Right. But remember when he was remember what he said about the when the lady said that he was an Arab?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let me pull this up because this is, you know, it's interesting. This clip here, I remember seeing this clip, and this is when Trump was running full steam, and maybe he just won the election. People were posting this saying, you know, this is why McCain lost against Obama, you know, because he wouldn't go out all the way on the attack. He was very reserved. And they say we needed a Trump. Now we have a Trump. And then after McCain passed away, I've seen a lot of people post this and say how this was one of the greatest moments in political history, and this was wonderful. Like the same people that we need more of this in politics. But this is
we're scared. We're scared of an Obama presidency, and I'll tell you why. I'm concerned about, someone that, cohorts with domestic terrorists such as Ayers.
I have to tell you, he is a decent person and a person that you do not have to be scared as President of the United States. Now, look, I
got to ask you a question. I do not believe in, I can't trust Obama. I have read about him. And he's an Arab. He is not.
No, ma'am. He's a decent family man, citizen that I just happen to have disagreements with on fundamental issues, and that's what this campaign is all about. He's not. Thank you. Thank you.
So.
Yeah, when you're running for president, you don't do that.
No. No. You got to be like this. You got to be more like this.
So, once again, go to HillaryClinton.com. We have literally Trump. You can fact check him in real time. Last time at the first debate, we had millions of people fact-checking, so I expect we'll have millions more fact-checking because, it's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
Secretary.
That'll never get old, man. Now he just has to make us proud.
Yeah.
Get her locked up.
Political revolution.
Uh-oh. We're still having more technical difficulties. Okay. Okay. Man, because you'd be in jail. Yeah, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
Imagine if McCain came back and said something like, yeah, he's an Arab.
Yeah,
He might have.
Yeah,
he might have won.
He's an Arab, all right. We know he's a Muslim. He told us. We played it on here before.
Yep, he is. Not McCain, Obama.
Right.
What was how did McCain get the nickname of Maverick?
I'm not sure.
Let's see. Why was he known as Maverick? We have a. Let's see. This is a story, KTAR News. It's
probably from the military.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for here. He was first called Maverick by Mark Salter. In the 1990s. He created the persona through nearly 2 decades working alongside McCain, turning his boss into a character worthy of literature, enlivening his inner conflicts, and drawing out his motivations. The publication wrote. That was a quote. The Maverick theme was essential to McCain's personal persona, the publication wrote, developing the war veteran into a character who discovered individual purpose through a cause greater than self-interest. So,
okay.
McCain's longtime aide and co-author of several of McCain's memoirs. In the 1990s, this guy named Mark Salter developed this persona over time and nicknamed him the Maverick.
He probably watched the Mel Gibson movie and then called him that.
What in the world? That's interesting.
Yeah. Look, it says the senior senator hit his most mavericky point from 01 to 06 when he only voted with his party 79% of the time.
Yeah, he votes when it doesn't mean anything. And when it really comes down to it, he was siding with the Democrats. Kill Obamacare? How could you do that? He's a decent family man.
I lost my health insurance from the Obamacare stuff.
Yeah.
I had good health insurance before Obamacare.
Man. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not happy that he's dead.
No, I still say these people are a bunch of just power hungry narcissists because it's like, why else would you stay in politics for that long?
Right.
Like, go in, do your time, and get out.
I'm happy for the change.
Yep.
You know, I'm happy that there's this new blood coming in. We'll just see. Who do you think? Who's that governor going to pick? Do they have any? Let's see. Does he have any picks? I saw something where I'm pretty sure the governor gets to fill the seat, which he was just reelected in 2016. So it goes till 2022. And I thought I read something about, let's see, that his wife might take the seat. McCain's wife.
How old's his wife?
Not sure. Governor Doug Ducey. Oh no. Governor Doug Ducey is will fill the vacancy until a special election is held in 2020. Okay, so it doesn't stay in until the end of his term. And the governor said he will not appoint himself. So we'll see who ends up being appointed. But some people said they want Cindy McCain, McCain's wife.
We need a shakeup.
Yeah, we don't need Cindy McCain. We need you know who we need? Like Kelly Ward. Kelly Ward has run against McCain a few times.
Yeah.
And she was more of a Tea Party conservative.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that would have been a good one. Now, locally, here's this just happened today.
Hours ago.
A shooting at a video game tournament. When I say mass shooting, I don't think it was a mass shooting. I think it was, how many were killed? 3 or 4 were killed. What's the definition for mass shooting?
I think they changed it to just like a few.
4 or more.
Is that what it is?
4 or more. Let's see what this clip has to say about it. So we're just learning about this too.
Hey, good afternoon. So I'm here, Sheriff Mike Williams in Duval County. I'm going to give you a very brief update right now. We're going to follow up. The mayor and I will come back out in a couple hours with a lot more detail. At this point, we had some information we wanted to put out. Just again, answer some very brief questions up to this point. So we just finished clearing the landing of potential witnesses and victims, that type of thing. And here's what we know up to this point. We have no outstanding suspects at this time, no outstanding suspects. We have one suspect in this case. He is deceased at the scene at this point. He is a white male, and we are still working to confirm his identity. We have deceased victims at the scene. We also have injured people at the hospital, and we will release counts later on. We don't have a count for you today, currently. We are aware of a video that is out on social media. We have that video, but we would encourage people, if you have additional video or any other information about the incident, please reach out through 630-0500, our non-emergency number, through Crime Stoppers at obviously 1-866-845-TIPS, and share that information. You can also share it online at JSOCrimetips@jacksheriff.org. So, as I mentioned, we just finished clearing the Jacksonville landing of potential witnesses, other victims, that type of thing. We have no outstanding suspects at this point, and we'll have, again, more information and a full brief in a few hours. One thing I can add, we would encourage people not to come downtown to spectate. We don't need that at this point. We've got a very large crime scene downtown, a very large perimeter on this crime scene, and we will divert you away from that, obviously. So, with that,
a large perimeter?
Sheriff Williams, there's a lot of speculation about what led up.
Sorry, go ahead.
Does it appear the suspect is from our area? We're hearing possibly Baltimore.
Still waiting to be determined.
There's a lot of speculation about what led up to this shooting. Can you say anything about that?
So at this point, no. We'll, as soon as we have more information about that, we'll share it.
So are all the witnesses cleared out of the building? Or all the witnesses cleared out?
We are still working with the witnesses.
How many witnesses? How many people in the building?
Several witnesses.
Sheriff, where do you believe that this shooting began?
In the landing, and again, we'll have more detail about that as the night unfolds.
Inside, specifically Chicago Pizza?
Inside one of the restaurants in the landing. Yes.
Was it exceeding the fire marshal's limits of occupancy?
No, we haven't even got into that detail yet.
One more question. What should families be worried about? How many people were there?
So we will talk about a operation to try to get families information as quickly as we can. Again, this information today, right now, I wanted to get out that we have no outstanding suspects. We have the scene secure, and we will follow up in a couple hours with more information. Thank you all.
Number of fatalities, do we know?
So there's a witness interview. Is that next video up? What was that?
Let's see.
I want to hear what the witness got to say.
This is my local news.
Anthony, I've just met 2 witnesses. This is Rico Martinez and Javari Long. Gentlemen, thank you for your time. So they were coming to the Jacksonville landing when the shooting unfolded, and their video has gotten thousands, tens of thousands of views on Facebook. Rico, let me start with you. You were coming to go to the Madden tournament just to watch or to participate?
Just to watch. I was just coming out there just to watch, but I seen a friend, and he was just running. He was like, man, they just shooting down there, just shooting down there. So we walked down there and started a video, and then we just seen everybody running out of there.
So you didn't run away from the scene. You actually ran to the scene.
Yeah.
And describe the sounds and the sights of what you were seeing unfold before your eyes.
Screaming, just shooting. I heard gunshots, people just running, pushing each other, just getting out of the landing, trying to get out of there.
Javari, you were with him headed to the Madden tournament. I mean, for you, were you in shock? I mean, running to the scene, most people would run away from it.
Yeah, I just wanted to get the footage of, like, people hear about Jacksonville, but haven't really got to like see what's really happening inside Jacksonville. Like this been going on. He just killed a lot of people at once, but it's been going on. Like somebody just died yesterday at a football game. But I just wanted to, because no news was here, so me and my friend decided just to go up to the scene and let the world see what's really going on. Like,
because nobody was here when we was coming down. Like, no news, no police, or nothing.
Yeah, I heard it was babies. Look, like, I have a 1-year-old. Like, I can't imagine me going out to eat, because some people's in there for the eat, some people's in there playing the game. So I can imagine me bringing my daughter and somebody just come in and shooting, like, for no reason, just because of a game, a Madden game.
And I just want to point out, we haven't confirmed that there were any babies that were killed. Police haven't given us details on the victims, but we do know that people were in there, not only taking part in the Madden tournament, also just eating at the restaurant. And so, did you go into the restaurant, or where did you stop?
I stopped like right in front of the landing, like right in front of the landing.
We could have, because nobody was there really. Nobody was there.
Yeah, we could have just went, but we didn't want to. We
seen people come out running, screaming.
I like his Illuminati necklace.
People was coming out through the back screaming. People was coming out through the front. People was shot. Like I seen the girl. She's not little, but she's young. Like she probably was a high schooler. Shot in the leg. I don't know where on the leg. They was carrying her out. Shot. Like to see her life help. Like I seen a grown man like shot. Like terrified. Like
he worked there too.
And he worked there. Like I've never seen a grown man so terrified. And this got to come to an end, man.
And so you each posted these on your own Facebook accounts. And why did you want people to see what had happened there?
Because, like I said, for one, no news was there, so I wanted to get live footage of like what's happening at that moment, because nobody else was there. And like the city needed change, and people keep saying, "Oh, you need to stop the gun violence." Everybody got guns. It's gonna keep going on. It's not gonna stop.
So y'all are young. How old are you?
22 right now.
I'm 23.
22, 23. Yeah. You live here in Jacksonville. Yeah. What is the solution? How do we stop this violence?
How you stop it? It's no opportunity here in Jacksonville. Yeah. People bored. People don't got no work out here, so they don't got nothing to do on their free time but to be out here and shooting and killing and stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing for no. It's nothing for no child.
Let's just go shoot and kill
people my age to do out here. So yeah, some people got jobs, but people bored. People bored.
Who are these guys?
Bored and you got time on your hands. Guess what? You gonna go out and do stuff you don't got no business doing. You're gonna do stupid stuff. People crazy.
I mean, you can spread the word about, stop this, but it's not gonna stop. It's gonna keep going and keep going. Not only here, but everywhere else.
People need something productive to do, because once you're doing stuff, once you active in something, you don't have no free time. You don't have no time to be out in the streets. You don't got no time to be just anywhere. You know what I'm saying? You working, doing something you love, or just doing something.
These boys got a message.
This is interesting. Preaching. They do it because they're bored.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, now they have.
You know, while we're on the subject, we probably should check up on Chicago.
Oh yeah.
we haven't checked on Chicago in a while. I don't even know if it's still there.
Let's see what we got.
Anybody still in Chicago?
I know I had like one of the deadliest weekends with 1 shot per hour.
Huh.
Ooh. August to date, 48 homicides, 314 shot. Wow, a person shot every 2 hours and 49 minutes.
It's a bloodbath.
It is. I mean, that's crazy.
It is.
But they're going to say,
why aren't we hearing about that on the news?
Look at compared to last year. Like for August, what is it? Yeah, compared to 2016.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit less. So they'll say, oh, it's doing great.
A little better.
We're doing great. Now, but the guy who was the shooter in the Jacksonville landing shooting, he killed 2 rivals and himself. I believe he shot himself. Yeah.
So, and here's the thing. They always say that it's the violent video games, but these guys were playing Madden. That's a football game.
He's just mad. And look at him. He looks like a crackhead. His name is David Katz from Baltimore.
He's a crackhead.
He looks like just a crack meth head or something.
Yeah.
And he shot 2 rivals. He was mad. Shot himself. You know, so he had a gun from Maryland or he picked one up. It's not probably too difficult to find something in Jacksonville. But I don't know if you shoot yourself and 2 rivals, that's a mass shooting. It's a shooting.
I would think the shootings in Chicago are mass shootings.
Yeah, when you get 50-some people shot in 48 hours, not all in one location, just across the city, that's a mass shooting.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else do we have going on? The Satan statue went up.
Nearly 4 months now after crews had reinstalled the Ten Commandments monument on the Capitol grounds, the Satanic Temple came back with their own statue.
The groups rally for the First Amendment brought Satanists, Christians, even the KKK to the Capitol steps. Scarecrow Jess joining us now live with the message in all of this. Jess?
Yeah, Bob and Ashley, while some were there to protest today, different beliefs mostly came together to say all or none. If the Ten Commandments get to sit on Capitol grounds, so do the statues of their representative religions. Now, the tone did remain respectful. Groups who came up to speak from all different backgrounds were even thanking each other for showing up, except when a Satanist wasn't happy with what a Christian minister was preaching.
I love you too. Demons in hell, you're a liar, you're a fake, you're a
So you could hear the crowd obviously was not pleased with what he was saying and did support law enforcement escorting the man out. The Baphomet statue sat in the center of the rally, but comments about the lawmaker who spearheaded the push to bring the Ten Commandments to the Capitol took center stage.
Senator Rapert will tell you that our monument is an attack upon Christianity. But then Senator Rapert also once described a gay pride parade as one of the most offensive displays against Christians in an attempt to intimidate people who believe in the Word of God.
It's all about the fake. It's all about the slur. It's all about the slander from these people. They're not serious, and they're not even real.
Hail Satan!
Rapert reiterates that Lucian Greaves, who you just heard from, isn't the man's real name. Rapert says the Christian minister, who you just saw too, has also not identified as a preacher before and was actually planning to run for office against him. The Satanic Temple is now seeking a court order to require the state to install the Baphomet statue on Capitol grounds. Live at the state capitol, I'm Jesse Tenor.
Well, there you go.
Ooh, that is creepy.
So it is temporary.
Yep.
But it's getting a little carried away.
Kind of ironic, though, that it's Arkansas.
Yeah. See, at some point...
Which Hillary's state.
It is. At some point, we have to just draw a line. Like, okay, we have freedom of speech, but we're not putting up Satan statues on the Capitol building.
This country wasn't founded on Satan principles.
Could you imagine, though, like the founders, if they put up a 10 Commandments, they'd be like, this is great. And then they come up, roll up a Baphomet statue. They'd probably just shoot everybody. Just shoot everybody. George Washington, let's have them all. Let's shoot them all.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, man.
You had here we go. Pope Francis. We had the Catholic Church abuse scandal.
Oh, yeah.
Thousands of abused children. Cover it up.
We turn overseas now to Ireland at an emotional showdown. Pope Francis facing a critical reception in that Catholic nation. The Pope addressing the unrelenting shadow of scandal and international outrage, speaking of the Vatican's pain and shame, but some calling it too little, too late. ABC's David Wright is with the Pope in Ireland.
Today in Dublin, Pope Francis got an earful about the Church's response to the sexual abuse crisis. Some of the signs there in the crowd clearly not meant to welcome him.
Above all, Holy Father, we ask that you listen to the victims and survivors.
Pope Francis did listen, sitting down behind closed doors for an hour-and-a-half meeting with 8 survivors of clerical sexual abuse.
We're hopeful that he will challenge what he referred to as the high church, or the elite within the church, who are guilty of corruption and cover-up. He literally said that they were filth in a toilet.
Francis acknowledged people have a right to be outraged by the church's response to what he called repulsive crimes against children.
Questi crimini repugnanti.
And he said it remains a source of pain and shame for the Catholic community. Michael O'Brien of Clonmel is 85 years old now. He's been living this horror since he was 8, abused in an orphanage run by Catholic monks.
Why did the church allow it happen? Because they didn't care.
The Pope's visit here comes just weeks after a damning Pennsylvania grand jury report implicated 300 priests in allegedly abusing more than 1,000 victims going back decades, while dozens of bishops allegedly turned a blind eye. That's why Pope Francis is under such pressure now. Washington, D.C. Cardinal Donald Wuerl may well be the next major church figure to resign because of this scandal. That Pennsylvania grand jury report was harshly critical of him. In his defense, Wuerl says he's always acted to diligently protect children. Wuerl was due to be a keynote speaker here in Dublin, but he pulled out at the last moment. Tom?
David Wright for us tonight.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC.
Ooh. There's George.
Yeah, that's just crazy stuff.
It goes back to the 800,000 kids that are missing.
Right. A year.
Yeah.
Man.
In the U.S.
In the U.S. Where are they?
They're being abused by these wizard-looking guys.
I think we'll end it on this note. This video you sent over to me.
All right, so I sent you this video. This is great. This is by Urban Hillbilly Action Videos. They got a lot of cool drag racing stuff. And this is like gotta be one of the most awesome displays of horsepower. I can't watch this without smiling. If you're in the cars, look up the video is called Never Give Up, 3,000 horsepower twin turbo Mustang comeback. This is probably one of the coolest things ever. Check this out.
Let's hit it.
That is the greatest thing ever, man. So, for the people that are just listening here, this video, if you're familiar with drag racing, or if you're not familiar with drag racing, the way it kind of works is both cars stage up, and there's a beam or like a laser beam that that designates the starting line, and as the cars roll up onto it, there's lights that light at the top of the starting tree, and when you go into the second when the second set of lights comes on, that means you're on the line. So if you move forward and break that beam, that means that you will red light because you went too quickly. It's kind of cool because the one Mustang goes deep and turns the first set of lights off, and when they go, he's got the tune up a little hot in it, and the Mustangs they're both Mustangs, but the far lane starts to get a little sideways and lets out of it real hard and pedals the car, which usually once you do that's it for you. You're not going to catch the other guy down, and he straightens the car up and just hammers down on it and just freight trains and runs the other car down. It's just awesome, man. It's awesome display of horsepower.
It was. And it was making 3,000.
That's what they claim in the video. I mean, there's a good chance if it's a like twin turbo, big block, motor. There's a good chance it's probably making that kind of power. But
I'll
tell you what, it was running rich though, because you can see some black smoke coming out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still hunting for a like an LX 400.
A Lexus version of the Land Cruiser.
Yep. Let's see something real quick before we go. Let's see what's going on. How cheap we can find one. A Lexus LX 470.
Oh, look at that used 04 with the winch bumper on the front. That's sweet.
It is. This is a cool looking thing, man.
But 24,000.
Yep. This one is a scam. That 2,000 for 1988.
Yeah.
That's not even, doesn't even exist. But this thing with that winch bumper, look at this truck.
Yeah, buddy.
That's just a cool looking vehicle.
Yeah.
That's what you gotta, if you have one of these, you have to put on a good aggressive bumper.
Yeah, and a good set of tires.
Yep.
Speaking of tires, somebody got some tires.
Yeah. Yeah, I bought these 46-inch military tires.
You got any pictures of it to pull up on the live stream so people can check it out?
These MVT tires, I have not figured out how to put them on the truck yet. But I'm going to be working on it. It's going to look something like that.
About like that.
Right there. That's a GMC.
Yeah.
But I haven't figured out how I'm going to get it on there. There's an F350.
Yep. You're going to have to do some cutting.
You know what one of the problems with it is I got to figure out how to get it from rubbing the leaf spring. And I don't think that I'll be able to.
Hey, you might just be losing some of your steering radius.
Yep. Now look at these right here. That's a regular rim.
Yep. That's not even a bead lock.
Nope.
Are you able to zoom in on that and see if the bead hangs out of the rim there? Ooh. Whoa.
Yep. Look at that.
Yeah, it does.
I'll be all right.
Yep, you'll be fine.
I'll be fine. There are some awesome looking tires though.
Yeah. That is going to be awesome. 46s on a F350.
It is. Look at how much he had to cut out of that wheel well.
Yeah.
He cut into the... Did he cut into the door?
Looks like it.
Wow. Uh-oh. And look on the back there. They have those like an axle stabilizer.
Depends. I guess depends on how they have the rear end set up. But yeah, that's kind of like a trophy truck style with like almost like where you have a swing arm style.
Yeah.
Mount for the rear end.
It would probably be good if I could find these fender flare. What are they called?
Fender flares.
Fender flares. That would probably be a good idea. What,
oh, you can find them.
What are they? Wow, that's a lot of money for those things.
Yeah, they're not cheap. They're proud of them, but that's for a 2018.
We need to find them for something old. They don't have to be fancy.
Nope.
Just big. That probably would be a good idea, just to make it look decent.
Yeah, that way you're not looking at the cut up portion of the body if you're trying to make it look pretty.
Right. Yeah, get those things and Herculine them.
Yep.
I think I wonder if that's big enough though. Does it have to be like oversized?
I don't know. I mean, you can probably manipulate them to be the way you want them.
That's not a bad price.
No. You got to make sure you get them for the right year. That's the newer body style.
That's the normal looking. Too normal looking.
Yeah.
They have to be bigger.
Bigger.
Yep. Well, I will be back with an update for that.
Cool.
It's already 10:30.
Yeah.
We'll do the
next time. You'll have to have a picture of your actual truck with them because your truck is awesome.
I'll pull up my truck and have that for next time, and we'll get one done sooner than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Whoop! I have my. I was looking for for some goofy news stories.
Oh yeah.
I haven't seen anything so far.
Huh.
But we'll do another one soon.
Yeah.
And have more interesting news and goofy stories.
We gave a rough summary tonight.
We did.
I feel like we need to have a have me some fun episode and get a guest on.
I know. We've been talking about it. The Matrix guy.
Yeah.
He just gets so busy. I have 2 empty rentals right now.
Got to get them filled, man.
Yep. Got to get them knocked out and turned over.
Yep.
Well, everybody, until next time.
Go out, shoot guns, and use chainsaws. Drive big trucks.
Yeah, drive those big trucks. And quando omni fluncus moritati, everybody.
Have a good one.
See ya.